Welcome to the Plant-Based Podcast. Did you know that plants are truly amazing? Not only can you grow them and eat them, you can also wear them, drink them, nourish your skin with them, and so much more. Let Ellen and Michael inspire you to love plants as much as they do, as they chat with the movers and shakers in this wonderful plant-based world. So, let's dig in.
Series 6 of the Plant-Based Podcast is brought to you with the help of VivaraUK. Vivara are a team of garden wildlife experts, and their mission is to make nature accessible to everyone. They provide ideas and solutions to create more wildlife habitats, from large green spaces to small urban areas. Join them at VivaraUK today.
Ellen, shall I do the intro?
Yes, please do. This is very formal. Please do the intro.
So this episode is a little bit of a bonus one because if you guys are actually a massive fan of the podcast and you've already heard yesterday's, which was our exclusive release with the Kirkenhof bulb garden, I did the interview solo and I gas-bagged on for an hour. And Ellen, she's kind of a little bit touchy about hour-long episodes. She thinks that people won't listen that long. I disagree, but never mind. So we were going to talk to Vivara, our sponsor. We wanted to kind of thank them for their help over the last 12 weeks. And so me gassing on at Kirkenhof meant there wasn't any space for it. So that's why we're here in a special Monday episode, which is a bonus. And we're here with Adam from the company. And we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to talk about the company. We're going to delve into what they're up to as well. They've got a new project with plants. But generally, about 25 minutes, 30 minutes of kind of fun, gossip, wildlife, this and that. So welcome to the podcast. First of all, Ellen. Secondly, Adam. Thank you. Sorry,
Michael is
trying to do another hour.
Michael's literally taken over the podcast the last few days. I love how you just said Ellen is allergic to it being over an hour. And I suddenly thought, I think part of that might be my own attention span.
Yeah,
if I listen to a podcast, I tend to switch off about 40 minutes. But also, quite frankly, Michael, I can't listen to you for longer than an hour.
Anyway, Adam is waiting in the wings and he's keen to be here, aren't you, Adam?
Good evening, everybody. Yes, hello. It's absolutely lovely to be here. Ellen did pull quite an interesting face when you said the hour-long episode, Michael, just so you know. So I think the 25 minutes has cheered her up immensely. So well done.
Oh, you seem like a wild one. This is going to be fun.
Well, I found the level early. We're doing all right.
There is no level.
Ellen, don't you think he's got really lovely diction and a nice accent? I think you should read the news, Adam. Have you ever been approached?
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
No one's ever said that to me before. That's quite strange, but I'll take it.
Hang on, I've got a plan. Adam, can you just say these words? Welcome to the Plant-Based Podcast News. Oh. Go for it.
Welcome to the Plant-Based Podcast News.
Boom!
I love what your face did as you were talking as well.
I suddenly got really worried there. I could have forgot how to speak for a second.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I wonder if you'll do our intro to the news for free.
I'll go deeper or something.
But we should introduce you properly because you're from Vivara, who are the wildlife company who've sponsored us the last 12 weeks. But what's your role in the company? How long have you been involved? And tell us basically what Vivara is, because we don't want to assume that people know.
Of course. Well, I'm the head of e-commerce for the UK, Ireland, France, Belgium and Scandinavia, which means I have officially the longest job title in the world. And everyone looks at me and gets very confused. I've been trying to turn it into a really good acronym, but it's not working very well. So basically, I look after all those different markets, all the stuff to customers. So we're quite a big company underneath it all. And so I look after all the customers, all the B2C stuff for Vivara. But your listeners will probably have heard of us, or maybe have heard of us, in our other skin, which is CJ Wildlife. So we're a company that's been based in the UK for about 35 years now. And we're quite well known for birdie stuff. So we do lots of bird food, produce it all ourselves. We do lots of nest boxes and feeders and all that sort of stuff under the title of CJ Wildlife. But we are part of a much bigger company called Vivara, who are from all over Europe. And then during COVID, we realised that there were a lot of customers who were coming on because they didn't know what to do. They couldn't go to the garden centres. They were getting a bit confused, wanted to go out in their garden and didn't really understand why they were buying what they were buying. And we realised, oh, God, there's like hundreds of people like that. We need to kind of cater to them as well, because CJ's is quite kind of for the established birder. So it's kind of, all of a sudden we decided, well, we have this brand that we can bring across called Vivara. So let's make it happen. So we launched the website last May. We're just starting to get to a point where it's starting to kind of work and things are making sense and we're really kind of like starting to run. And it's really exciting. So we're doing all sorts of fun things like sponsoring you guys and getting to talk to you. We're sponsoring the Big Butterfly Count. We did last year, we're doing it again this year with Butterfly Conservation Trust. And generally just having a lot of fun with the job and with what we're up to.
That's so important, isn't it? With whatever you do, just to really enjoy your job. Michael and I often say, like, we're so busy some of the time, but it's just enjoyable. Like when you're having fun, it's almost like it it's not work, and what you're doing is so good for, wildlife and the planet as well. So bonus.
Yeah. It's I have it on some kind of CV somewhere where you kind of say you working every day to make the world a bit more pretty and a bit nicer. And like, what more could you ask for, really? And it's the dream. And it really is the case. We have like great big feeders at work where people will just kind of go for a walk and fill the feeders and watch all the birds go past.
Really?
It's really nice. It's really cool. We're based in Shropshire, so there's basically nothing here apart from fields. So you have to kind of make your own fun, and watching the birds is kind of a good thing to do.
Cool.
Were you interested in like birds and wildlife overall before you took this role, or has this role kind of really encouraged you to love wildlife more?
It's a very good question. No, not really. I mean, I'd always kind of enjoyed wildlife, but never really thought about it. It's kind of always like, it's a robin or whatever was going on. And then it kind of hit me as well that when kind of COVID came, you couldn't do anything. And all of a sudden I started getting obsessed with like kind of, the squirrel that was in the back garden at a certain time every day because I had nothing else going on. And that was when I took the job. And then since then, it's been fascinating. I have accidentally become a little bit of a geeky birder now. I do get kind of quite excited if something's rare is nearby. But really, I've got two little boys. So I go out and fill up the feeders and things with them, and just seeing how excited they get to be out in the garden and filling up the feeders and seeing what comes and chasing off the naughty squirrels and all that sort of stuff. That is like really joyous. So being able to be a part of that in work as well as at home has definitely converted me across.
Oh, cool.
I love that. Sorry, Michael. I was just going to say that you're one of so very many over the last couple of years that's kind of discovered nature and wildlife. I think when you take away all of the noise of what's usually going on in life and you just at home, you sort of start to focus on things that are really, really important. And that is our like connection with the natural world. And how much do you enjoy seeing like a bird land on your bird feeder, or even the naughty squirrels and their kind of fluffy tails,
it's
all
still
of
nature,
those
still the whole food chain. And I have to say, I get more annoyed when there's a bird in my garden because you can never take a picture. That's the
no, don't even try.
Just they were there.
the second you kind of sneak the camera up to your face, they're gone. Yeah,
you need a good zoom.
They earn their money, the wildlife photographers, for sure.
What did you do before, by the way? I'm quite interested to know, actually.
Well, you see, I went from the exact opposite. I helped businesses from China globalize. So I was kind of doing all kind of the hardcore helping those sorts of people. They want to globalize their own brands rather than normally they kind of sell out and then we sell ourselves. So we helped a few companies kind of do that. Which was kind of, I've always been a sucker for international trips. Basically, I love a free trip.
Oh, you've been in China a bit then?
So we go to Holland a bit. I've been to China a bit. You name it. If there's a chance for some free travel, I'm there. So I've always worked in that sort of world. But yeah, being able to do it with something that actually is meaningful is really lovely.
Mm-hmm. And where are you based? Are you in Shropshire or not?
Yeah, I live in Shrewsbury. Which, for people who don't know, is kind of halfway between Birmingham and Manchester. It's very famous because it floods all the time. I mean, basically, the thing is famous for.
You're not painting a good picture of Shropshire, to be fair.
No, it's really lovely. We have a giant flower show here. We have a Shrewsbury Flower Show here every.
Is that still going?
Yeah, it's still going. Oh, it's back now. They had a couple of years off because of all the stuff. They're back, and they're very proud of the fact that it's the birthplace of Charles Darwin. So if you're ever here, you'll find a lot of Darwin stuff. But yeah, it's really lovely. Yeah, from my house, I can see the river. I'm just looking out the window now. It's very green and very pretty.
Oh, that's nice. I wish I had a view. I've only got a view of houses, and I just been in Holland for a couple of weeks. We had this Airbnb by the water, and it's so simple and lovely just to be by water.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And there's something really calming about it as well. And even I've got this cheap fountain out there actually. And when it's working, it kind of works like haphazardly. When it's working, it's really lovely and it gives you that real nice calm. But even though I am in like quite an urban area, I can hear the birds even at this time of day, which is quite nice actually, because it could be a lot worse. And obviously I've been using a few of the Vivara items as well, which the most popular thing I have to say was the ground table. Yeah, it's really cool.
Lots of robins and blackbirds and things like that.
Yeah. There's a robin darting around. Definitely blackbirds. Maybe a starling. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm kind of delving into my knowledge from all the bird books I read from my grandma as a kid, but it's great. And also, it's perfect kind of bird feeding for lazy people like me because you kind of just throw it on the floor.
Chuck it on the ground and let it do its thing. It's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah.
Let the blackbirds come. They love it, don't they?
What birds did you get, Ellen?
I've got a feeder and a drinks hanger, which I've got in my back garden. And they're beautiful. They're like ceramic with blue at the top and then kind of creamy at the bottom. They just look so like decorative, which is lovely for bees. And I also got a hedgehog home, which I put at the front of my house because I often see a hedgehog out there. And it's never come in my garden that I know of, but I've seen it like along the front of the path. And yesterday I was putting the bins out around the back of the house and I found some hedgehog poop. So I know that there is definitely a hedgehog around. So I'm hoping that it's going to find the hedgehog home as well that's out there. I am a complete like birding geek. I love it. I love going birding.
She's a poo geek as well. She goes to sit around the passage.
I literally
poop.
I can ID wildlife poop.
That's a good skill to have.
So the products are really lovely and I've been really happy with them. So at the back of my house, unfortunately I can't really see very well unless I'm out there because it's a terraced house and there's a small window and so I haven't specifically seen birds out there using the feeders, but I'm pretty sure at the front I'm going to get a hedgehog there. So I've got my fingers crossed and I'm keeping my eyes open for it too.
So what about putting feeders in the front garden? That would be cool, no?
Yeah, so we have quite a lot of house sparrows at the front, but I'm thinking of having a maybe like a table at the front. But where we are, we're in a very urban environment. We have loads of cats and not my cats, but neighborhood cats. And also I have spotted the odd rat at night time out the front. So I'm a bit wary of doing that out the front of the house. So I think I'm going to...
The neighbours might tell you off.
The neighbours might tell me off, but I'm definitely with the hedgehog home. For sure.
The hedgehog house is very cool. I think you said something that's really important, which is that some of these products have got to look really pretty. You know, if you're spending so much time in your garden and you're getting if you get passionate about your plants or about whatever it is that you're doing in your garden, I think in the past some of the feeders and some of the kind of the nature products have been quite ugly. Whereas actually, if you make it pretty and make it a real focal point, it's something, again, that you can talk about as you're kind of showing your friends around. And I was just wondering if either of you have got to the point of being competitive wildlife spotters, where you start to get really angry if there's a bird or something in the next door neighbour's garden and not in yours. And then
all the time.
Then you're in trouble. That's the point where you're like, oh no, I've got quite into this now. Like,
I know.
Livid, there's a blackbird in my next door neighbour's garden.
Yeah,
why is it not in my garden?
But you know how to remedy that, Ellen? You grab a handful of mealworms, put them on the table, they'll always come.
They love
mealworms.
True. Yeah. That's very true. So on the allotment, I have there's quite a lot of birds obviously around. We've got like native hedging, loads of hawthorn all about, robin, wrens and blackbirds and blue tits and great tits. There's loads there. But I have a very friendly robin, and I keep seeing people online feeding robins off their hands. And I know it's really important if you do that, you have to wash your hands first so you don't spread disease. But I'm very, like, every time I'm down there, I have some mealworms on my hand and I just sit and then I'll throw them close to me so the robin is coming close to me, but it won't come too close. So I'm trying to get it to trust me to come and feed off my hands, but we'll see if that happens this year or not. But
Trust.
Yeah,
he's taking a picture of it as well.
Yeah, I sit there with my phone in my hand out like this for an hour, and then when I finished, I can't move. Every joint in my body aches because I've been sitting there so long.
Oh, that's so cool.
There's some actually about robins.
And can I ask a question, actually, because Ellen touched on rodents there, and I think sometimes people are kind of reluctant to feed the birds because they are worried about rats. But then there's also this folklore that you're never more than like a metre away from a rat. So in my head, you might as well feed the birds because there's a rat a metre away. What do you think?
It's hard, isn't it? It's really hard. Yeah. We get lots of people speaking to us about kind of like rats and squirrels. People get really kind of quite frustrated by them. And I think sometimes, I think you are basically putting food out into your garden, so you're going to attract wildlife. And I know that if you were getting really serious, the serious people who do it are kind of like, look, I'm asking wildlife into my garden. I can't specify which.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah,
there's some things you can do. So, like for example, with your ground feeder, if you thought it was attracting wildlife that you didn't want, it's literally bring it in. So at the end of the day. Last time you're in the garden, bring it inside and kind of bring it in and out. It's quite a simple thing to do. There's also a lot of feeders which will have a cage around them, so like a metal mesh, which means that the birds can get in and out without too much worry. But that stops squirrels, it stops rats, it stops the cats as well. So if you had someone who was like concerned that the cats are going to just kind of go out hunting, it's a great way of the birds kind of staying safe. And that kind of puts them off a little bit. But yeah, it's a tough one, really. I think I know a lot of people will maybe kind of stop feeding for a few weeks and just let it kind of calm down and then start again. And it depends on what you're doing. A lot of the kind of serious birders recommend moving your feeder around anyway. Like kind of like keeping the birds kind of on their toes. So if you kind of spotted that there was like rats and things coming, you can always move it away from your house. It wouldn't deter the birds, but it might make you feel a bit better that it's a bit further away. So cool. It's a really hard one though. I think people are quite right that if it's not something that they like, it is going to be kind of a bit concerning. But you can do some stuff to kind of try and at least minimise it.
But it's interesting what you said about moving it around, because I would always think you've got to have it in one place so the birds get used to it, or is that not so important? I thought the same thing, but I've spoken to a few people who actually recommend it and say, every few weeks move your feeder. If you can move your feeder around, then do, and see what works and what doesn't, and again, it's kind of up to the kind of the individual, really. I guess it's going to work differently in different gardens.
Yeah, absolutely. I have my feeder in the middle of a flower bed, so I'm kind of like I'm quite happy that it's there. And what I do is I change the feeders on the pole, basically. But I know some people who'll move things around, and again, it's kind of have some fun with it. I think one of the real key things that we're doing with Vivara is kind of making sure that people know you can't do something wrong. I think
it's the same with gardening, isn't it, Ellen? People got to feel
absolutely.
Confident.
They're scared that they're going to do something wrong and kill all the birds. Like, oh my god, I won't be able to live with myself. Well, actually, that would be really hard. and putting something out, looking after the wildlife is a really positive thing. Get your hedgehog house in place. It's never gonna be a bad thing. So yeah, kind of hoping that people will come with us on that journey of working out what works and what doesn't. So it's all really exciting. Yeah, it's really good fun.
So just talking about the company then, what's kind of like the overall values for Vivara, and where does it come from for the company as a whole? Where do they stand when it comes to wildlife and doing the right thing and having the right food, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Well, basically, our owner, who started it all that time ago, is a real wildlife enthusiast. So generally, if I'm describing it, I say we're kind of like the least commercial company in the world. So we sponsor lots of things. A lot of our profits will go back into wildlife companies and wildlife charities. For example, I mean, as we said, we do the sponsorship of the butterfly count. So that's a really nice way of us giving back to these places. We donate a lot to a number of charities over in Europe. We have a selection of things that we have as a license with the National Trust. So they're doing some great stuff with their blossoms, and some of their wildlife plants at the moment are quite interesting. So it's a good way of us getting some money into that. So underneath it all, it is a lot of people who are really passionate about what they're doing. And what's great is that just feeds down. So everybody who joins, you've got to be a little bit mad to work there, and you've got to be kind of into it. Otherwise, you're going to be completely crazy by the end of it. So it's really nice, and that feeds all the way down to we have some factories that we use, and our Dutch stuff where we work with kind of supported employment. So with people who might have a learning disability or a physical disability, actually try and get them to be able to do things. So hopefully we kind of on the right sort of way to becoming, a reasonably ethical company. We're currently trying our hardest to move away from plastics and that sort of stuff. We're on a really long journey at the moment to try and become carbon neutral. But again, we're trying to kind of do it authentically. There's a lot of companies who go, oh no, we're completely carbon neutral. And then you kind of break it down, and actually, some of it might be a little bit kind of hidden. And we're really trying to make sure that our journeys and all that sort of thing are stories that we can tell, and we can really make sure that people hear about it. So it's a nice company to be with. It's a nice place to be, and everyone's kind of dedicated to what they do. They really do feel that they're trying to progress things and make a difference.
I wonder if the nice environment is almost helped by having those bird feeders in the workplace as well.
Oh, totally. Yeah. We have a giant screen. I'll send you the link, and you can put it in the notes if you want. Basically, it's just, it's a giant set of bird feeders, and the birds kind of flit in and out. We have it on a screen in our room. And, you just kind of like look up, and all of a sudden all the birds are kind of flying around.
Oh, my God, that's so cool. I have to say, Ellen, I met the team, obviously, at Garden Press event, and they were just all so bubbly and bouncy. And even like in the emails beforehand, Sarah, who I've been working with, she was kind of just so excited and pleased about everything, which was just so cute. Because sometimes you deal with sponsors or clients, and they're kind of like, you don't get that much feedback, but you guys were kind of like just, I did some very quick live one lunchtime to like 15 people, and you guys were like, whoa! And I was like,
oh my God,
better than that. It was brilliant.
Everything stopped. I was in a meeting in the room next door, and all I could hear was like a, wah! Everyone
no way! Oh my God!
I ended up being like, look, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go and work out what's going on. And they were watching you do it live. I was like,
oh my God!
That's how people react when they see Mr. Plant Geek.
In real life, talking about stuff. How exciting.
But seriously, actually having a biodiverse space and encouraging wildlife into your garden has proven benefits for your well-being. So about nurturing and sharing and caring and all of those kind of things, and you create a lovely biodiverse space, whether that is with feeders and ponds and plants or pollinators and all of those kind of things. Research has shown that can increase your well-being score overall. So that's probably why you're also happy.
Well, that could be it.
That could be lecture mode there, because she's just done a garden club talk today.
Oh, is that what it was?
He's right.
Ellen's on one today. That's good. No, I completely agree. I think I'm completely sold on it. You know, as we've said, it wasn't what I was doing beforehand, but now I can't really imagine being in a workspace where there isn't somewhere to go just to kind of have a moment to breathe, and and I think that's something that's really important, particularly at the moment. You know, as I say, we get so many lovely stories from people who during COVID were the only company they had was the wildlife, or now they go outside and just kind of think, right, I don't need to think about the world. I can sit in my garden, I can look at my plants, I can watch the birds and all this sort of thing. I think it's so important at the moment just to have those little moments to reflect and kind of feel normal, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to feel that connection that was difficult to have over the last few years. And we can always rely on the birds, can't we? And the bees, hopefully.
And the bees, and the butterflies.
And the butterflies too, of course.
Yeah, because you guys at Vivara, you're actually starting a plant range. And I see from your stories on Instagram, the plants have started to come in as well, haven't they?
That's right, yeah. Yeah, so, well, because we have these kind of really strong connections with the Dutch, they've always done loads of things with plants and bulbs as part of Vivara. Over here, we've kind of dabbled with it a little bit, but it's never really worked. But we, as Vivara, we kind of like, well, you know, why not start to bring these things in? We're calling it plants with a purpose. So you can't go on there and find like a wide range of plants, but you can be sure that anything that's on there are plants which won't only look pretty, but also have like kind of like a secondary use. So it's something that's kind of useful for the birds, if it's a fruit, or the butterflies. Obviously, we're working really closely with Butterfly Conservation Trust, and bees as well. So we started bringing them through, and I think it's really interesting, again, kind of putting my e-commerce hat on, about how you sell plants online, because people like to see it and like to feel it. And so we're really having a look at that at the moment and trying to work out kind of nice ways of making sure that people can see what we're up to and where we're going. So we've planted some borders at work, and we've kind of taken some photos every day of what, at the moment it's all tiny, but hopefully in a few months' time it'll be big, and we'll have.
It'll be grown before you know it.
Yeah, that's become all the guys in the warehouse are obsessed with it. They all nip out to go and water the plant, water the gardens now, so that's quite good. So we're kind of seeing what we can do with it, but really with that focus of it being that we have the secondary use of the plants being that it is useful to nature. So we have like a butterfly border and a bee border. And with that, you get your kind of your your insect house, or a butterfly house, or a bird feeder, or whatever it is. So it's really interesting. It's been really fun to get involved in and see what people react to, see what people are enjoying. People are really liking the butterfly house, the butterfly gardens, which is great. And the Butterfly Conservation Trust are endorsing it with us as well, which has been really good of them. So there's like buddleias and things in there. And
that's cool.
Yeah, so it's been really cool. It's a really interesting new thing. And I suppose when you think about it, it's kind of the natural place, because if you don't have your plants, you don't get your wildlife.
Yeah.
So so you got to kind of have the whole thing. It's a really interesting project that we're working on at the moment, and kind of making sure that it's sustainable.
I'm actually looking to hopefully visit around Malvern showtime, because you're not that far away from Malvern, really.
No, just a little bit further up.
Yeah, same side of the country.
Yeah.
But Ellen, I'm not sure. It'd be cool if you could make it, or in an evening we could have a lock-in.
I don't want to lock in with you.
It's so hard to fit all this stuff in, isn't it? I wish I had not more hours in the day, but more days in the year. That's what
you guys are always welcome. You're always welcome to come and say hello and come and sit in our nature area.
Come and water your borders.
Come and water the borders. Yeah.
Does that sound smutty?
I don't know why, but so much of what you said sounds smutty, and I just don't like. There's nothing really smutty about it, but you just have the way about you.
The borders will be watered, Michael. Don't you worry.
Oh, so Adam, what are you doing for Easter?
I am. We're having a bit of a relax in life. I've got to sort out my back garden. I moved house last year, so I am on the kind of the basics of that. But yeah, on the website, actually, just thinking about it, sorry, going into my commercial world again rather than just having a nice time.
Oh, you can't get him off track, Ellen, can you?
Sorry.
Ask about his weekend and he's trying to sell us products again.
There is for the keen listener, if you get it on Monday, there is a cheeky little 15% discount weekend going on this weekend. So jump on there and see if you can grab a card. So that's nice. But yeah, generally just having a nice relax and eating some chocolates. What about you guys?
People have to be really quick on that because the episode goes out at 7 p.m. and it closes.
Oh, do they? Okay. In that case, they're very well priced on a Tuesday as well. They'll be absolutely.
Well, they have 5 hours. So yeah. I wonder, actually, Ellen. I wonder if we could tell how soon people do listen to episodes.
Yeah, I think we can see. Yeah, I think we can see how many people download in the first day, and then it all gets bundled into the rest, something like that. So yeah,
that's interesting, isn't it? That's
some kind of stat there somewhere for that. Yeah.
Hey Adam, I know that your girls in the office like Danny and Sarah. I bet they're going to be well excited when this podcast.
Oh God, yeah, I'm not going to be able to live this down. Yeah, better give them a shout out. Hi Danny, hi Sarah, hi Callum, hi Steve.
There you go.
I love that. Fame at last for them.
It's like you guys are each other's fan clubs. Like you're just like so supportive. It's just that whole feeling that I just got from the emails and I got when I met you guys as well. It's so nice. Yeah. I think nature has done that to you.
Absolutely. I think everyone, because it's such a nice thing to be able to talk about all day. You know, it is. I think you kind of naturally start to kind of take that on board and live a little bit more like it. So that's really nice.
Totally.
I mean, there are days in the office where I have to like crack the whip and get them to do something, but in general, they do all right. They're a good.
You only said that because they're listening.
I was going to say, yeah. They'll be listening to this like in the office on Tuesday while we're all sat there, and they'll be like looking at me, being like, "Oh, okay." So
they'll think you're famous now.
Yeah, well, I'm good. They should. That's fine. Maybe we'll get to do some more work.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, thank you for joining us for this special little episode.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. It's been lovely to be able to sponsor you guys, and long may it continue. And come and see us in Shrewsbury, and let's do some more stuff.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Ellen, when are you arriving at Malvern? Literally the day before?
Yeah, on the 4th. Yeah. It won't be until late afternoon, evening. Like May is mad. It's
and
4 days at Malvern, and then I'm at home for 1 day, and then I go to America for 11 days, and then I come straight back to Chelsea Flower Show, and then finally I'll get to go down my allotment. So it's like almost the whole of May is.
Are they letting you in at Chelsea after what happened last year? With
very funny.
What happened last year, Alan? What happened last year?
Nothing, he's winding you up.
How to start gossip in 2 easy steps.
I'll find out and tweet it later.
No, I mean, you cleared it up with that cream, didn't you, Ellen?
Don't tell everybody. I told you that in private.
Oh, ding dong. Cool. Wow.
Anyway, yeah, it's been a pleasure, Adam. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been lovely.
We've really enjoyed working with you. And actually, this chat's been really good fun as well. What more could you want? Wildlife and fun as well.
Cool. Thank you. And we'll see you really soon. Maybe we'll see you for that lock-in.
Let's have that lock-in soon. That sounds great.
Series 6 of the Plant-Based Podcast was brought to you with the help of VivaraUK. Vivara are a team of garden wildlife experts, and their mission is to make nature accessible to absolutely everyone. They provide plenty of ideas and solutions which can help you to create more wildlife habitats, and that's in large green spaces or even small urban areas. Why not go and join them at vivara.co.uk?
The music for the Plant-Based Podcast is part of the song Grow by Mikey James, and our editor is Gareth Patch of Semi Echo.